A political leader or a politician can be anyone who has taken up the responsibility of governing. History has given Nigeria excess of these crops of people who have dedicated their lives to the betterment of the country. Nigeria's political leaders' Hall of Fame parades names like Dan Suleiman, Chief Frank Kokori, Pa Alfred Ronwami, Pa Anthony Enahoro, MQ Abiola, Chief Bola Ige, just to mention a few. These politicians have at one time or the other impacted on Nigeria's political atmosphere over the years. Chains of events snowballed into an election described by many observers as one of the most credible in the history of Nigeria, which brought about the setting aside of a day to reminisce these events. June 12 has stood the test of controversy with a stamp from the Buhari-led administration as Nigeria's Democracy Day. One man stood out of the crowd in these annulments of June 12, Chief Moshood Abiola. He contested for the highest seat in the Federal Republic of Nigeria with a landslide win, but that election was annulled.
I will fight for peace, and we will get peace. But you see, we do not want the peace of a graveyard, a peace whereby somebody continues to ride on the rest of us with a gun. We will get peace, but we'll get peace with decency and integrity and honesty and probity and democracy.
Nigeria as a nation is celebrating her Democracy Day officially on June 12, which many say is a rebirth and a memorable day in the history of democratic processes in Nigeria. For some, the day also brought about unity among Nigerian citizens, especially the older generation.
Every time the issue of the annulment came up over the years, his position was very clear, it was very firm, that the elections were free, they were fair, and there was a clear winner, and that the annulment was unjustified. So, having had the opportunity, perhaps, to right the wrong, so to speak, I wasn't surprised that he did so, because it is in his character to try and do justice, however belated, and under whatever circumstances.
Observers in Nigeria's politics believe that President Muhammadu Buhari's decision to designate June 12 as Democratic Day invested the late MQ Abiola and Babagana Kingibe with national honors, and the renaming of the Abuja National Stadium as Moshood Abiola National Stadium, a patriotic and democratic gesture which Nigeria's founding fathers stood for.
They had an idea which they hope that will nurture into a nation that will give each and every citizen a sense of belonging.
The fact that Mr. President, despite his military background, he's so democratic, even more democratic than some of us that are co-politicians. He found it so dim to at least declare June 12 as a public holiday, because he believed it is one of the free and fair election that has ever been conducted in this country.
It is believed that Nigeria started on a good note with the nation's founding fathers at the helms of affairs, driving the nation to greater height through dedicated, selfless, pragmatic and prudent management of country's scarce resources. Politics was played without bitterness. Religion was practiced devoid of sentiment, tribalism or bias.
You see, the most important thing for us to consider is what you can contribute to the country, not what you can get out of the country. If we look at the life of people like Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Sardauna of Sokoto, Zik, Chief Awolowo, Malam Aminu Kano, and the rest of them, we all know that they live a very simple and humble life. They are not interested in accumulation. They are interested in moving this country forward. So I believe if the present-day politicians can learn from them, it is very easy for us to move this country forward.
Key players in the industry are of the opinion that if Nigerians can get it right, the sanctity of the ballot box will be reinstated. The despair electorate would work with smiles and renew hope to vote for credible leaders, and the people can learn something from the lives sometimes of all those that contributed to the growth of the country's democratic journey. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.